Hi, everybody. This is Patricia Cori coming to you from sunny Portugal in the Azores Islands, and I'm bringing you my third part in my little mini series on Feng Shui. And today I'm talking about the emotions, and how holding on to people, to things, cluttering, storing, hoarding affects your emotions in some very deep ways. So let's start with the question. For those of you who know what psychometry is, it is the ability of a psychic to pick up information simply by holding an object. And this is also, let's say, very commonly the psychic will use jewelry to pick up that information. And in fact, I always recommend to people they do not buy used jewelry in thrift shops and things unless they really know how to clear it out, because the metal, the vibratory frequencies of the piece itself seem to really hold and store energy of the wearer, possibly because those people had such very important events or emotions attached to the piece. But at any rate, so do we. We have emotions attached to clothing, books, crystals, jewelry, anything, gifts. And a lot of times they're beautiful memories, and that's wonderful. There's no reason why we have to throw away the piece, although the memory isn't being thrown away, only the object that represents that memory. And, if it's a 6-foot stuffed teddy bear in your kid's room, that's a lot of space it's holding. So it's up to you to decide if that much space, losing that much space to hold on to that object, is worth the physical representation of what that emotion is or was. So I'm meeting a lot of people. Again, and I'm a healer, and I work with a lot of people. And the first most common thing people are coming to me with is, I'm not sure what my purpose is. The second seems to be, I'm really worried about my career or my finances, and I don't know how I'm going to dig my way out. And the third is love, relationships, pain, suffering from broken relationships, and worry, wonder, hope for those that are hopefully ahead. And in between, there's all kinds of other things like unhappy relationships and problems with your kids and whatever. But anyway, that's a very generalized approach to, let's say, an overview of the hierarchy of things that people seem to be concerned with. So when I talk about Feng Shui, I'm also talking about the energy that these things hold. They hold locked, stored in the very fiber of their essence. And the question is, if these are unhappy memories, or if they're keeping you tethered to the past, can you let go of them? Example, I have a box of photographs of the past that I thought, wow, these pictures are fading. What a travesty that I'm trying to hold on to the memories through the old-fashioned printed pictures. Hold on. Girls! My dogs activate whenever I'm doing a video. Shush! You can see I'm so effective. It's distracting me. Just a minute. I'm back. Okay. I was saying how these pictures, again, some of you are too young to even remember what a printed picture is. Everything's digital now. But a lot of us are sitting with boxes and boxes of old photos, and they're fading. And in my constant analysis of things, of such things, I took a look at this box full of fading pictures and thought, we have the possibility to scan these images and digitalize them so that we still have them, but we can have them in compact digital files. And these can be printed if we want. And somehow they will retain more than if we just let them sit in a box in the closet where they're gathering mildew and mold and dust and just fading out. Because that's, the nature of the printed photos, they fade. And I looked again and looked through all these wonderful memories, especially my mom and my childhood. So one of my projects is now to scan all of these into the computer. I think it's a great idea. And then I can look at them all I want. And then I'm going to throw them away because they serve no purpose, fading away in a box in the closet. And a friend of mine said, how can you throw away family pictures? I'm not. I'm just transferring them onto a computer and a disc that will be a teeny tiny disc that could fit in my pocket instead of two gigantic boxes of photos randomly thrown about in a box. I do have a neat little photo album, and it contains pictures of my ex, and I'm ready to definitely, there's no rancor there, but I'm probably ready to let that go too. But yeah, for the moment, I don't want to deal with it. So it gets to stay. Then I've got a box of slides. I'm talking a big box of slides, which I've taken in places all around the world. And I thought, now, yeah, what do you do with a slide? You can't even really reprint a slide very well. So, out came the old-fashioned slide projector, which is, from the year of the flood, and the slides, and I threw them out. I was just like, seriously, if the quality isn't up to par anyway, what am I holding on to? And more importantly, who's going to see these slides? The truth is, now I enjoy photography. I enjoy taking beautiful pictures, and occasionally I get something that I want to share with everyone because of what I've captured. But the truth is, think about your collection of photos and wanting to show people your photos, and how long the interest is there for people to go, oh, that's nice. That was when you were in Cancun. So think about photos and how they hold sentiment and how you believe they hold the memory. But in the end, the memory's in your soul. It's in your heart, your mind. It's not in the picture. It's an illusion. And these are big. They take up a lot of space. So are you ready to do that? I think it's a great project, and I love projects. I'm a person, I always tell people, I never get bored. I always invent new projects. And so that's what's happening with my photos. They're going to be digitalized and then compartmentalized on a little disc that I can look at whenever I want. And all the paper and old fading images, they're going to get tossed in. And by the way, be sure you do this before they do fade out and you look at the picture and go, oh yeah, I think that was my mom. So unless you're really interested in the intangible quality of life and how things fade away, the Buddhist style approach, my recommendation is you just pull out your old photos and get them digitalized, and then get rid of them if you can. Get rid of everything that takes up space, that fades and deteriorates, if you can. So when you do that, it's, again, so freeing to know that you don't need these things to hold the memories. You don't need them. You don't look at them anyway. It's just another box or two or three plugging up your closets, holding up the free flow of energy. And, I want to talk about that actual aspect, the flow of energy. I mean, imagine if you could see energy flowing, and some of us can, and you see it just stuck, blocked, especially around the door, around the front door. You want energy to flow in. And the windows, you want air coming in. The actual art of Feng Shui and the use of color, the position of the house, etc., is more technical than I'm qualified to discuss. So I just go with what feels right. But if you want more information, it's certainly out there. You can even hire feng shui experts to come in and reposition things in your house. But the clutter is your baby. You got to deal with it. And one of the things that I'm talking about is things that you hold on to because they're memories and what that says about your emotional body. Another thing is clothes, children's clothes. How many people hold on to their baby's clothes for 20 years because they were so cute? And somebody could be using those clothes. Maybe it's time to let them go, especially if you're not planning any more babies. And your own clothes. I talked yesterday about if you've got, sometimes I pull things out of the closet when I'm doing this feng shui and go, whose is this? It's this big. I'm this big. I wore that? I'm getting back into it. Absolutely. So, at the tender age of 67, I don't probably think I'm going to get back down into, my tiny, teeny, low jeans. So they go. And it just, you can feel it. As you let go of these things, what you're letting go of is residue information in the emotional field, residue memories that are stuck in fabric, stuck in a closet, stuck in a box. You can let go of them and hold onto the beautiful memories. And it was beautiful wearing 6 sizes smaller than I'm wearing now. But it's beautiful being now. So whatever, right? Then comes the question, the ultimate question of letting go of people. Letting go of people, I touched on it yesterday, but letting go of people that are no longer, I don't want to say serving you. That's not a nice way to say it. Hold on, I'm going to open the window. Speaking of feng shui and air. But people who, the relationship is just not contributing to your being. Or they're just, how many people have you got vampires, energy vampires around you who just keep sucking and taking and more and more? Or, and this happens to me quite a lot, people that never even ask how I'm doing in a conversation. The conversation starts and it's, oh, you won't believe what I did yesterday. Blah, 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 blah. Then I got my thing, then I got that. And I'm into this whole new healing method. And no, but you haven't even asked how I am. It's just all about you. It's a radio station about you. Blast, blast, blast. And I'm releasing these people. In fact, I have released these people from my life. It's like if you have nothing, if you're not interested also in me, then we don't have a two-way energy vibration going on. If it's only one way and that's you putting it out and me listening, it's not really, I'm not talking about being in healer mode. I'm talking about friends, people, relations, family that just broadcast. Think about that. And think about people in your life who are like that, who just feed off your energy, broadcast constantly about them, and give you nothing back. Don't listen, don't share, don't allow the energy to flow back. So I've cleared them out. It's, I'd say there are some moments when it's not lonely, but when you realize, boy, there are not very many people in my life. But the ones who are really giving something back. And that's what I think matters, and that's what I need in my life. Because I believe I give a lot. And it's nice to have it come back with a few very special people who know how to do that. So for those of you who are stuck in relationships that are causing, oops, sorry, the screensaver cut out the image, that are causing you unhappiness, or where you're feeling just so stuck you can't move, ask yourself, in the case of an unhappy relationship or marriage, where you feel stuck but you don't feel free enough to get out of it, ask yourself, what's it going to be like in 5 years, in 10? Am I going to do this eternally? Or am I ready to start thinking about how to release myself from this? And I truly believe that it's time to release yourself from all your cages as we face the unknown on this planet. And we all know it is really rough out there. Really rough. Isn't it a good time to take, let's say, measure of what's in your life? The extraneous, the things that weigh you down, the things that are blocking you, that are blocking your energy, that are blocking your emotional freedom, your joy, above all, your joy. And that's why I love Maria Kondo, finally getting her name pronounced right, who talks about hold it to your heart, the Japanese woman. Hold it to your heart. Does it bring joy? I just love her. What a little ball of light she is. And let this be your measure with everything that's in your life. Does it bring joy? And if it doesn't, because people tell me, you're so lucky, Patricia. You're lucky. I'm so lucky. What do you mean I'm lucky? I work on myself. I work on my life. And there's a lot of pain attached to the process of letting go. I am not making light of it for a minute. But the question is, when will it be time? Just like the boxes of old photos or size 6 sizes down clothes, uh, things in the shed that you've got stored. When are you going to take stock of it and say, what am I holding on to these things for? And you're the most insanity of all. It's not only when your house is so full you just have no space to breathe, but renting storage. It's insanity. Unless it's a temporary situation where you're moving, you've got to hold your stuff in storage for a while. But just living with a storage shed because you've got so much crapamundo that it doesn't all squeeze into your house is insanity. It is time to take a look at your stuff. And when you do that, it's very emotional. It's emotional to release these things. They hold so much. The question has to be, are you ready to face your fear, whatever that is? And are you ready to face whatever it is that causes you to accumulate all these things that in the end, instead of bringing you happiness, because there's no happiness in a closet full of crap that you're not using, that you'll get to someday. Get to it now, because now we're in a revolution. We're in the ascension process. There is no question that we are shifting into the fourth. Not for me, at least. And do you want to go into it with these closetfuls of accumulated stuff that you don't even know what's in there? Or do you want to face it, free it, liberate yourself, breathe? So yeah, that was my choice. And I just can't even tell. You can tell I'm ebullient since I've been doing this process. And even, I have to say that coming here to the island, I had already, as I told you already, I'd already done so much of it. But now I've done the rest. And for the first time, I think in my life, I know where things are. I know where to find that file, where to find that necklace, where to find, because there's so much less stuff to look through, number one. And number two, I've put order in it. And it gives me joy. It's release. It's freedom. And when there's order in the, it felt like saying order in the court. When there's order in your storage, when there's order in the room, when there's free space, you create so much more. You're so freer to create. Nothing's in the way. You get the whole symbolism. I mean, I'm not, this is kind of not brain surgery. So I'm creating a lot more now and feels really good. I've got new projects I'm working on because I've got space to do it. And joy, lots of joy. So I thought, I repeat that I know these are sort of simple things that I'm saying. There's no great Syrian revelation here, which is another aspect of my work and who I am. But they're important things. And when I look around and hear so many people struggling, so many people unhappy, then I'm moved to talk about things that I think are really simple steps that you can take to achieve that. And it starts with clearing out your shit, clearing it out physically, clearing out the emotions that are attached to it, and clearing out your head. Because I guarantee you, And also, some of you have written to me and said, yes, 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 I've been doing this. I feel so much freer, clearer. It clears out your mind because the symbol of clutter everywhere, things, possessions everywhere, just drowning you, keep you tethered in many, many ways. To even the point that, at one point I was thinking, I don't know if I really want to travel anymore. I've got all this stuff to think about. I was like, whoa. When I'm not free to move because I'm worried about my stuff, it's time to get rid of this stuff. Okay, guys? I hope this helps. We are so bombarded with such heady, highly complex. Uh, I can't even find words for the kind of information we're being given these days. And a lot of it is hullabaloo. I just can't hear it anyway. Keeping us tethered to one side or the other, keeping us tethered to fear, the end times, Armageddon, the breakthrough, the ascension. It's just, and very, very complex ideas for the evolving mind. And we certainly are capable of that too. But still, if you're contemplating these remarkable aspects that face us in this time on earth, questions about that I certainly bring forward through the Syrian High Council in all the work I've done for 20 years. But if there's no happiness, if there's no freedom of mind, if there's only the chains of fear, the chains of stuff, the chains of limitation, then what's the point to it? What's the point of having knowledge about the quantum reality, the holographic universe, alien beings from 9 dimensions? What's the point of it all if we are not happy, if we're not free? And one can argue, how can you say we're free? We're totally a society in surveillance, yada, yada, yada. I remind you of the words of Gandhi, who said they could break my back, they can break my bones, but they cannot break my spirit. He is a guiding light, and I always remember those words when I think of my own life. So with that, I leave you with that thought, which it gave me goosebumps. And that thought is, free your life, clear it out. Come on, gangs. And let me just add to, see the world. It's changing so dramatically. The world that I started traveling to around back right out of high school, it's disappearing. Don't miss the beauty of a Norwegian fjord or an Egyptian temple or, I don't know, whatever, a paradise island, the Swiss Alps, a cafe bistro in, I was going to say Paris, but at the moment it's on fire. But don't miss these moments. They're the world. You're in this world. Get out of your little box and your little neighborhood and your community. For God's sakes, you're a citizen of Gaia. Don't miss it, this beautiful world. Free yourself of your chains and feng shui your life and get into the power zone of what that feels like. All right, those are my words of wisdom for today. I hope you hear that it's coming from the heart and that I'm trying to help. And with that, I bid you farewell and hold you close to my heart, as always. This is Patricia Cori signing out. Please remember, I really need your subscribing and your little like clicks. It helps me build this up because I repeat, not sure how much longer I will be on Facebook, which is one of my sources for reaching you. All right, guys, take care. Lots of love. Be well.